Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the IHC Craft Room. I'm Mary, and I'm so excited to be pouring some candles with you this morning. This is live number 7 of the Holiday How-To series. Today, we're going to make a super cute and festive little holiday candle trio gift set. So grab your stuff and craft along if you're going to, but if you're not, then put up your feet, get a comfy, cozy chair ready, grab a coffee or a tea. I'm having myself a coffee and a glass of water because always hydrate. And we're going to get started. So first of all, let me tell you all the materials we're going to use, and then we'll get rolling doing it. Because today, for the first time during a live, I'm actually not going to be using the double boiler method. As you can see, I don't have anything boiling over here. I'm going to be exclusively using my microwave because it'll make my life infinitely easier. So you'll just have to listen to it in the background because I'm not going to drag it all the way over here. Okay, so I'm going to be using Millennium Soy Wax today, which is really good for melts, from what I understand. And it's also got some really good adhesion. Okay, actually on the side it tells you great fragrance throw, color retention, low to no frosting, and super stable. So it's single pour when poured cool. Anyway, I'm really excited to use this for our candles today. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Okay, so today we're going to be doing 6 4-ounce candles. And I'm going to use 3 different fragrances, and we're going to make them 3 different colors. So it's going to be a candle trio, and they will be white, red, and green. And I'm going to also package them up at the end and show you a couple of ways you can gift these to people. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to do this from start to finish. Now, these are 4-ounce Luxe jars that I picked up at Village Craft and Candle. I am an affiliate for them, so I will get a commission if you pick up something. But don't forget that you are going to get 5% off if you use code IHC5 at checkout. But if you don't want to get anything from Village Craft and Candle, there are tons of places you can get candle making supplies. Lots of mom and pop shops online these days, but there's always Amazon. And if you're in Canada, Michael's Canada has a lot of stuff, including wicks and wax and vessels and all the things. So we're also going to be using HTP 93 wicks, which should work very well for this vessel size. And we're going to be using 3 different fragrance oils so that each color has a different scent profile. So let's talk about those before we get started. The first is going to be Vanilla Cream, and this is the fragrance I'll be pairing with no color. So it'll just be a white candle. The fragrance notes for this fragrance oil, the top is vanilla bean, mid is cinnamon and soft butter, and the base is tonka bean and sugar. So I'm really excited. I've never actually smelled any of these fragrances that I'm going to be using today, so stay tuned for my live reaction. The second fragrance we'll be using is Cranberry fragrance oil, and I'm obviously going to pair that with some red liquid dye so that we can get some nice red candles. And the fragrance notes for this fragrance oil are the top is cranberry, banana peel, and crisp apple. The mid is gardenia and wild berries vines. And the base is tonka bean and musk. Oh, that sounds lovely. I'm excited to smell that. Oh, hey, calm down. See, I got 2. Simmer down, Mary. Okay. And the last fragrance we're going to be using is White Moss and Balsam. So I'm going to be pairing that with some green liquid dye to make a nice green candle. And the fragrance notes for this oil are the top is mandarin, sage, and fir needle. I don't know why I was going to say fire needle. Mandarin, sage, and fir needle. The mid is fresh balsam, eucalyptus, cinnamon leaf. And the base is white moss, patchouli, and cedarwood. Now that sounds delightful as well. This is also a dark fragrance oil. So I'm happy I'm pairing it with the green because I think it'll blend nicely and we won't notice. So that's it. We're ready to get ready to party. And I'm going to actually be using some heavy-duty glass measuring cups to melt my wax in the microwave. But before we do that, I'm going to just give these Luxe jars a quick clean with some Windex, my fancy Windex bottle. You can obviously wash these with soap and water as well, if that's your preference. But since they're made of glass, Windex will do nicely. And really all I'm trying to do is make sure there's no dirt or debris inside, because they're obviously stored in my storage room, probably in Village Craft and Candles warehouse. So, you know, let's make our lives a little easier. And I also recommend, once they're cured and stuff, you can totally spray the outside with Windex to shine up your vessel. All right. This is exciting. Now, over here, I have some labels. These are warning labels and also kind of like directions on how to use a candle to some degree, like how short you should cut the wick and how long you should leave it, blah, 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 blah. But I almost didn't do this one. So I highly recommend, if you are going to gift candles to anyone, that you always, always put a warning label on the bottom. And I also like to talk to people about the candles and a little bit of candle safety when I give it to them as a gift. So highly recommend. We're going to be using wick stickums today to attach our wicks to the vessels, but I'm going to do that after I start melting the wax. So I'm just going to grab my kitchen scale here. Let's scoot you guys out of the way. Okay. And we're going to start measuring out our stuff. So actually, let me show you a little bit of candle maker math before we get started. So I'm going to be pouring 2 at a time because, you know, fragrance and colors. It'll be much easier if we do it that way. So for 2 4-ounce clear Lux jars, the target of melted wax and fragrance oil is 8 ounces between the 2 of them. And I'm going to be using a 10% fragrance load. And I forgot to put the little percent sign there. Okay, so I'm going to need 204 grams of wax so that I split it 102 per candle, and 22 grams of fragrance oil, which is 11 grams per candle. And then for the ones that are going to receive color, I want them to be really vibrant. So we're going to hit it with like 7 or 8 drops. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And let's get started. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Okay. So first I'm going to put on my gloves. I also have some heat resistant gloves that I'm going to use while I'm popping these in and out of the microwave. But for now, okay. So 200, I'm going to measure out all my wax now and all my fragrance oil now, so I can just move all this stuff out of the way. I don't have to have my scale all the time. So what did I say? 204 grams. Let's go. And in case you're wondering how I have a different bag of wax, I had a other bag and I broke it. And so I had to put it in here. Okay, too much, Mary, too much. 204 is what we want. Now, just for the sake of argument and clarity, is it that big of a deal if it's 205 or 206? No, it's not. I'm just really extra, okay? So don't you worry your pretty little head. Look at the difference in weight between this vessel and that one. Different manufacturers. This one's Pyrex, and this one's Anchor Hawking Fire King. Fuego King. Okay. Fuego. Okay. Focus. 204. Here we go. Part 2. You think I'd learn and just pull back sooner, but no. Nay. All right. Beautiful. And I don't have another measuring glass that size, so here's the big boy. Last one, 204 grams. Here we go. Oh, I see a big clump of wax. But wait. I see a big clump of wax that was just about to destroy my life. But I caught you in time, you renegade. Trying to cause chaos up in here. Oh, look. See? That's okay. It's not too much. You needed to get out, eh? Okay, I don't blame you. I get it. You want to be free. Put me in, coach. All right. Oh, I thought I got it. Nay, that's all right. All right, 204. We are cooking over here, kids. Okay, so speaking of that, I'm going to pop one of these into the microwave, and we're going to get started on melting. And then I'm going to wick these guys. So you first. Say goodbye. Toodaloo. This shall now be melted. Okay, I put that in for 1.5 minutes, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to melt it in 30-second bursts. I don't have patience for that. So I usually do 1.5 minutes and then another 1.5 minutes. And then by that point, we're near the end. And then I just control myself. Oh, no, I want to still measure. So you move out of the way. I'm actually going to wick 2 of these before I start measuring out fragrance oil because, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to measure fragrance oil. Let's measure the fragrance oil. Okay, I need a couple of things so that I don't make a mess in here. So we're going to start. No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. We're going to start with vanilla cream. And I'm going to put this back on. So this is parchment paper and paper towel so that if I spill fragrance oil on it, it's unlikely to get all over the place and make this place smell like vanilla for eternity. All right, here we go. So we need 22 grams of this. Oh, I already started by almost pouring it all over the... Oh, this smells so yummy. Vanilla cream. It's very sweet. Yeah, look at that. I made a mess. All right, I gotta go stir. So let's close this off. All right. The way I'm gonna know which is which is I gotta make sure I keep my fragrance bottles in front of the fragrance. All right. Let me go stir. Ew, it's such a gross consistency right now. It gets so gummy. All right. That is going to need a couple more, and then it'll be ready. Now let's go with you are going to be cranberry. Okay. Wait a minute. I really should put my wicks because I have a feeling my wax is going to be done and I won't have my vessels ready and I'm going to be panicking. So let's pause on the fragrance for a second. I'm going to take my glove off because if not, I'm going to really struggle with the wick stickums. Move. What am I doing? It's like I'm having a spaz this morning. Pardonnez-moi. Okay, so these are HTP 93 wicks, and they should work quite nicely. I honestly don't know what I'm doing today. I'm acting very like this is my first time. Okay. The wax is calling me. I shall go. But first, let's put this. Okay, that looks kind of to the center to me. I'm going to use something to push it down. And now let's go have a look at the microwave and see what the situation is on that wax. I need a pot holder. Oh boy, we're almost there already. Where's my temperature gun? Okay, so I'm at 146, which is too low. I'm at 146, which is too low. We want to hit 160 for Millennium. But if I leave it in for another 30 seconds, it's going to far exceed that. So I'm just going to stick around and see what we've got. Oh, I'm so close. 155. That's going to be enough. All right. 171. I will take it. Muy bueno. See, I should have stopped to wick sooner. It is okay. Luckily, I did the fragrance oil already. Okay. I'm just cleaning off the bottom of the wick in case there's like, you know, these are coated in wax, so they can flake off and then it clinks to the bottom and kind of interferes with the stickiness of the wick stickums. So giving it a quick wipe helps. Now, if you don't have wick stickums, you can use hot glue to glue these down. Like a little touch of hot glue on the bottom of the wick is fine. Lots of people do that. Could also pour a tiny bit of hot wax on the bottom and then drop your wick in. That would also work. All right. All right, ski. Oh, that's caliente, Mary. I'm going to mix in my fragrance oil. And then we're going to give this a really good mix. Well, I don't have to worry that I have the wrong fragrance oil because this is the only one I have right now that's measured. Okay, something I'm a big advocate for, which you will hear me talk about a lot, is cleaning up as you go. It'll make your life significantly easier in the end. It's not to say that I won't wash that. I will. I'll wash everything again with soap and water when I'm done. But not having melted wax stuck to things is helpful. Okay, so for fragrance oil, we want to stir for about 3 minutes. So it's 10:17 right now. I'm going to stir till 10:20. And the number one reason why I'm doing this is to allow the fragrance oil time to bond with the wax. It really does need to have that opportunity to if you think of the wax as a sponge, then you want the pores or the spaces in the sponge to be wide open and give them the opportunity to mix with the fragrance oil. The fragrance oil is made of like thousands of scent molecules and they need to be absorbed into those pores. So 3 minutes is like essential. You definitely want to make sure that you're stirring enough so that you get even distribution and you give it that chance to have the chemical binding, like that lock-in moment. That's going to totally be a game changer when it comes to your scent throw. And it makes a huge difference in terms of how your candle's going to perform long term. Because if your fragrance oil isn't distributed well or it hasn't adhered to the wax well, then maybe you'll get some awesome scent throw at one point. At another spot, you might not get any because there's nothing there. It matters. It really matters. So take the time. It's a little annoying, but what else? We love to chat, don't we? Hello, Tony. Let me know in the chat what color you think I should make everything. I have already selected now because I was sitting here staring at my colors going, cranberry has to be red. But which one should we pour next? Should we do the cranberry or should we do the white moss and balsam? Let me know in the chat. Or guess, if you're watching this as a replay, guess below what you think is the next color we're going to pour. Yippee. Okay, this smells really yummy. It's got a really sweet gourmand. I can see why they called it vanilla cream as opposed to like straight vanilla because it does have that really beautiful, sweet element to it. Okay, we're almost there. I'd like to see what temperature I'm at right now. 149, that's great. That's great, lad. You want to get, I mean, in a perfect world, to around 120 or lower when you're pouring. All right, that's been 3 minutes. We are not adding color to this, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour. But I got to remember to put my glove on my dominant hand, or this is going to go end badly for me. I have another one, but who cares? I'll switch around. If you don't have a heat-resistant glove, I highly, highly recommend you buy them. They are not expensive. You can get them on Amazon. I got mine from Michael's Canada with a 30 or 40% off coupon, who remembers? And I've been thrilled to have them ever since. Okay, before I pour, let me just show you, because I won't be able to do that once we're in pour mode, because, you know, liquid wax. I'm going to pour to about here. So these are 4-ounce candle vessels, but they can hold more than 4 ounces. If you were to pour all the way to the top, it'd probably be like 5 and a bit. So I'm going to pour till about 1/4 inch from the top. That's my plan. So hopefully the amount of wax that I've melted will be appropriate to what I'm looking to have there. Oh man, does this smell good? Okay, this is a little lower than where I'm intending to go, but you know, just in case. I can go back and forth between the two of them, you know. I'd say they're about even right now. I have a little wax left. Yeah, this was a great calculation. 204 grams of wax and 22 grams of fragrance oil filled these to the perfect level. I hope I didn't drop some on the edge there. I kind of looked away. All right. Vanilla cream, c'est bon. Oui, oui. Okay, you scram. I don't need you anymore. Get out of here. I'm actually going to pop some Wick centering tools on these now. It's not urgent. It's not like it's going to solidify like in this exact moment, but it's one less thing to worry about later. So trying to keep it as upright and centered as possible. Even if you happen to put your candle or your wick in slightly off center, sometimes you can cheat a little bit by adjusting the way you have the wick positioned when it's curing. Beautiful. Those are going to be great. Okay, so we're going to move on to these ones. But before I melt any wax, I am going to pause and finish what I was doing because that was stressful. And like, I am not about stressing when I'm crafting. Crafting for me is about #craft your calm. You know what I mean? Be calm, be chill. So, wicks. Before I do wicks, I'm going to finish fragrance oil so I can get rid of my scale. And then I can take off my gloves. Okay, so let's move on to cranberry. Okay. Cranberry. I'm very interested to see how this smells. Although, to be fair, it's going to kind of smell sweet because of, that's very strong. It's got a really nice cold throw, although it's warm right now, but it's not warm because of the wick, so it's cold throw. Okay, here we go. Cranberry. 22 grams is what we're looking for. Here we go. Oh, so close. Man. Yeah. But I got all over the bottle again. I hate when that happens. I truly hate when it slides down the side of the bottle. Oh, well, moving on. Nothing I can do about it. Let me smell this. Like up in my nose. Oh, isn't that nice? You really can smell the banana peel and the apple, but the cranberry is the dominant. Oh, isn't that nice? I did not expect that. When I thought cranberry, I don't know what I imagined, but it was not. Not this. Okay. You sit in front of cranberry. You get out of here. We don't need you anymore. White moss. I'm going to put that in this little shot glass because I don't have another one of those. And I don't want to mix it with the vanilla. I want to have straight fragrance. So I'm hopeful that this is a big enough shot glass to hold 22 grams. I don't actually know. So let's, we're in this together, guys. We're going to cross our fingers and hope for the best. Okay, zero my scale. And again, we need 22 grams of this. I'm using grams. You can use mils, you know, which is what you should use really when you're doing liquids, but I'm lazy, so grams. I don't like to move back and forth on my scale. Oh, this one's going to pour down the side too. Oh, Mary, is this your first time? I'm really struggling today. I need some coffee. I need to have a sip of coffee. Maybe that's the problem. All right, we're at 22. This shot glass was muy bueno. I think it can hold 30 mils easily. So for future note, let's give this a good nasal. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I don't smell the top mandarin note that they mention here, but I don't have a very strong sense of of scent, if I'm being honest. I can smell things, but I'm not really good at differentiating notes for the most part. But you definitely smell the eucalyptus and the balsam and a little bit of that patchouli as well. It's really lovely. But look at how dark that is. Like, look at them side by side. What a crazy comparison, eh? So always keep that in mind. If I was going to be not adding color to that, if I was going to do it like this one, I would definitely either need to add some white to it, like maybe white. I don't think they sell white liquid candle dye, but I would look for it. Or you can get like those diamond dye color chips that are white. I think Village Craft and Candle sells them, but I'm not sure. They discontinued a few not long ago, and I don't remember what's what. Okay, so our fragrance oil is measured. Our wax is measured. I'm going to do these wicks now. And then we're going to focus on melting down the wax and getting... Oh, come on, dude. My hands are sweaty now, so it doesn't want to come off. But I don't want to waste a pair of gloves. They're fine. And I'm cheap. In facts about Mary, she's cheap. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of here. I don't need it anymore. You can scram. Now, the reason I have these here off to the side is because I want to be able to move them. That's why they're on a piece of parchment paper. But once you pour a candle, I mean, it's in your best interest to leave it exactly where it's at so that you don't get like a little rim of wax around the edges that kind of sloshed up against it when you were moving it. But I am a rebel. I am rebellious, and I don't care. It's not even that I don't care. There's no way around it. I need to move it. I only have so much room on my table. Can we talk about my nails for a second? I just got my nails done. And have you ever seen a cat eye manicure before? Because I haven't. And hello, nurse. How cool, right? Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for indulging me because I've literally never seen that before. Okay. Now, I've seen some tools online that you can use to put your wicks in. There's just one in particular. I think I might pick one up. I'm going to look it up online. I haven't researched it. I just saw some creators using it where they thread it over the shaft of the wick like a pen sleeve. And it gives it that, opportunity to be more precise because it's very taut and it's not floopy like this. Man, my vocab's really something. Phoebe Buffet really influenced me with her floopy. All right. These are going to look so cute. I'm really excited about it. I'm not putting any toppers on them. That's why I poured them so high. I wanted this to be an easy, straight pour because it goes to show you that if you wanted to give these as gifts, let's say for a bunch of friends and family for this Christmas, a little something, you could pour, like these come in a 12 pack. So you could pour all 12 of them in one shot, you know, and then make up a bunch of gift packs with them. That's basically what we're going to do. And then when you're ready to go visit somebody, you just go pull it out of your stash of pre-prepared, amazing smelling scented candles. Like, hello, who's going to be unhappy with that as a gift? I'd be thrilled. Even as somebody who makes candles, I'd still be thrilled if somebody gifted me candles. Like, who's going to say no to a candle? Actually, having said that, I do know some people who would say no to a candle because of pets and the fear that maybe their pet is a little bit too brave and might be willing to paw the flame. In which case, a wax melt is another lovely gift idea. I'm probably going to do some wax melts this year as well. I did some last year and wrapped them up as gifts, and they were a real hit with my friends and fam. All right. We are rocking and rolling over here. Okay. I'm going to move you guys off to the side. You're next. Prepare. I'm going to go pop this into the microwave. Now, for this set, we're going to add some color. And I think I'm going to do cranberry first. So I'm going to add red to that. Can you imagine if I mixed it up? That would be so like me to mix up the colors by accident. But I'm not going to mix it up, okay? I'm not. I'm definitely not going to mix it up, I swear. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about fragrance and liquid color. Which do you mix into your melted wax first? So when I've used liquid dye is really, really concentrated. But in the past, I have used something called diamond dye chips, and they're these wax chips. I guess they're wax. And they do need to disintegrate into your wax. And so I used to think, just to have it disintegrate well, I would make sure I drop that in right off the bat. As soon as my wax comes out of the microwave or off the double boiler and it's molten, let's drop that diamond dye in there. And that was a mistake. You definitely don't want to add your color first. You want to add your fragrance oil first. It's very important that you add it first, in fact. Let's go give that wax a stir. And did I bring my microwave safe glove? No, I did not. Good call, Mary. All right, here we go. Ooh, this is already quite toasty, which goes to show you, because one of these was heavier. If I'm not mistaken, when I was measuring my wax, one of those was heavier than the other. And it's noticeable because I guess the glass isn't as thick. Okay, so why fragrance oil before liquid dye? Why oil before color? Fragrance oil before color because of that whole immersion that I was talking about. If you think of the hot wax as a sponge, you really want, when it's open and ready to receive something, you want that first thing that it receives to be your fragrance oil. It's super important. You want those two to become the besties of all besties. And if you put color in first, you're basically putting a barrier between them. And nobody likes a barrier for their love. Nay, nay, we do not. So very important, fragrance oil first, and to stir for 3 minutes because you want to give them the chance to get to know each other. They got to date for a while, you know. This is a commitment. It's a big commitment. Let me take my temperature gun with me too. Oh yeah. We're almost done already. Beautiful. We'll do another 30. And if I could just remember to bring my pot holder, that would be great. So yeah, to summarize, definitely mix in your fragrance oil before you mix in your liquid dye when working with your melted wax, so that you give your fragrance oil the opportunity to bond really well with that melted wax. And stirring at a moderate pace. You should be somewhat slow. Okay, we are fully melted. What temperature? 165. Oh boy. Oh boy. It couldn't have been better. That worked out swimmingly. All right, we're at 165. And we are going to pour in our fragrance oil. Let me grab some paper towels before I do, just in case I get messy. Here we go. Okay, it is 10:37. We're going to stir until 10:40. But pause. Beautiful. The other reason why you want to add your fragrance oil before your color is temperature. If you add color to your fragrance oil, your melted wax first, then you're going to start stirring it, which is going to introduce air, which is going to start dropping the temperature. And we don't want that. You definitely want your fragrance oil to mix with the wax when it's at its optimum temperature, which our target for this wax is 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's why you want to put your fragrance oil in immediately after, so that they get the chance to party together for 3 minutes, decide if they want to be besties for life. And then also it's slowly introducing a little bit of cool temperature to this mixture. And then we're going to add some red dye. Now, the dye you don't have to stir for 3 minutes, which I did not know until I looked into this more, because I wanted to understand what was better, fragrance first or candle dye first. And the answer is always going to be fragrance oil first, because that bond is important and you really are going to block that chemical binding of the fragrance oil and the melted wax if you add color in between. So we're not going to do that. This is actually a really fast project. I think the part that's going to take the longest is going to be wrapping it up, because I'm so extra. So to like decide where to put things or how to do it. And now I'm making these as a trio, but you could totally do these as singles and just like wrap it up with some cellophane and maybe put a little sprig of holly or something cute like that. They have really cute little things you can pick up from the dollar store that would be really nice. You could tie on, or we'll look at some options at the end. I'll show you a couple of ways to package these up and we'll talk about it. Man, does this smell nice. It really has such a, like, it's fruity, but it's not traditional. Like, it's cranberry. You definitely smell the cranberry, but there's so much berry in it. It's really lovely. I'm interested to see what the hot throw's like. And keep in mind, these are small candles, so we shouldn't be expecting, you know, a huge but that would be a good opportunity to burn this candle in a smaller space, like a bathroom or a small bedroom or something, so that you can get a good sense of how strong the throw is in a smaller space. All right, it is now 10:40. So we are going to put in some liquid dye next. So I'm using red liquid candle dye. Again, you can pick these up on Amazon. I think even Michael's sells them. Probably Joann's would sell them in the US. But I got mine at Village Craft and Candle, which is where I get all of my candle making supplies. Okay, we're going to do 7 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I feel like that was 2. Kind of snuck in there, the 7th drop. Okay. So like 30 seconds for liquid dye is sufficient. You want to stir it enough that it, it mingles at the party, but it doesn't need to get married too hard. Long-term commitment, maybe not, not too serious. Now, I want to make sure I have enough red in here. So a great way to test if you have enough liquid dye, or any kind of dye rather, in your melted wax is to grab a little piece of parchment paper like that and just drop a drop and let it solidify. And once it does, you'll see how red your red is. I can already see that this is good, but I want to let it dry a little bit and we'll see. Now keep in mind, if you're dyeing soy, and this is soy wax, this Millennium Soy Wax, soy has a tendency to not have really crazy bright colors. Soy is known to be a little bit more of a pastel-y kind of look. Doesn't mean you can't get strong color, but it won't be the same as if you were using paraffin wax, which would give you the most vibrant of all the vibrant colors. Actually, soy wax that does really well with like the look of the color is pillar soy wax. I recently made a candle where I was looking at the difference and it was like, wow, it's a huge difference, the pillar wax versus the soy wax, the way it takes the color. That was the my black on black Halloween candle live that I did at the end of October, which future Mary in the replay will put up in the corner over here. I did a black on black candle where we had like an 8-ounce element matte black candle, and I dyed the wax black, and then I had a black wick and a black lid. It was stunning. Loved it. Okay, that's been stirred more than enough because now I got carried away talking about that. But you can see my wax is solidified over here. So I'm happy with that color. That's a nice red for me. So we're going to stick with that. I'm not going to add any more. I don't think it's needed. And it's time to pour. Actually, let's see what temperature it is now before I do pour it. Where's my temperature gun? It's always nice to know. Okay. 137, which is higher than you would think. I would have thought it would drop more than that by now. Okay, again, we're going to go about 1/4 from the top, 1/4 inch. Beautiful. Oh, I don't like pouring onto the wick. I don't think there's any problem if you pour onto the wick. I just don't like it. Non mi piace. Okay. I'll put a little bit more in this one. Look at that wick. Just has to get up in everybody's business. Chill, bro. Like, find your chill. For real. For real. All right. Beautiful. So you'll hear me repeat this a lot, and I don't care if it's a broken record. It is super useful. You'll thank me later. clean your vessels as you go. It is going to make a huge difference so that you don't have to sit there with a heat gun later or pop it back into the microwave to melt it again so that you can clean it. Now this way I can just use some soap and water later and it'll be ready for my next project. Beautiful. Let's pop a couple of Wick centering tools on here. I got these ones from Michael's. I love them. They work really well. Super simple. Beautiful. I don't like the way that's positioned. Move. You know what? I don't like that. Let's try this. Let me see. You really want to have a look at your wick, like from the side of the vessel, and see if your wick is straight. While your wax is still transparent, this is your chance. Because even if you placed your wick just a little off center, you can sometimes negotiate a little bit of a straighter wick throughout the actual candle if you catch it at the right time and make sure it cures in a straight position. All right, beautiful. We got 2 sets down. Next, we're going to move on to our white moss and balsam. I can't handle this rock. I have to break it just because it's fun. All right, we're going to go pop this into the microwave and we'll start round number 3. I'm going to tidy up a little bit because once this part's done and we start doing the wrapping, all of this is going to be in a place I don't want, which is my nerves. They'll be right on my nerves. So I'm just going to scoot these on out of here. And we need you. I can get rid of you guys. Scoot you. Now, you might be wondering why I made a point of telling you about warning labels and then I didn't put them underneath the vessel. Because you don't have to do it beforehand. I actually always do it at the end. I do it as part of the wrap up. So when I'm wrapping up the gift sets, I'm going to add this as part of that. Something I forgot to do, unfortunately, and I regret, is I forgot to print out some labels for these fragrances so that I could pop on the side what the names of these fragrances are so that when people receive them, they know what they're about to get. Mind you, they're scented candles. You stick your nose in the top and you're pretty much, you know, the jig is up. Surprise. That's what it is. However, for the replay, I will create some labels as a download and I'll link it in the description of this video so you can download them. Okay, we're starting to get melty. Muy bueno. Look, I need all these things. Come with me. Everybody come. Give it a good stir. I mean, in theory, you don't really have to stir. It'll melt. It's wax. It's going to melt whatever you do. But, you know, stir. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I am going to pour these. And then how am I going to show you the gift sets? Well, I'm glad you asked. I already pre-poured some before this so that we could enjoy the whole process together of making the candles from start to finish. And then we're going to wrap them up. But as I said, I highly recommend putting some kind of label. And if you don't have a label, write it in the card just so that they know. It's always nice to know what you're about to burn. Sometimes your nose might get some of the notes, but it won't fully. So it's nice to read a title. It gives you some concept of what the fragrance will be, you know? Yeah, good times. All right, so for this one, we're also going to add a considerable amount of liquid dye. On the actual bottle, 7 to 14 drops per pound of wax. And we're doing 204 grams, which is just shy of a half a pound of wax. So really 7 drops is the sweet spot, which it really is because it came out a beautiful red. Now, the candles that I made beforehand aren't quite this vibrant of a red. I only used 5 drops when I was pre-making, and je regrette, which is why we did 7 today. Live and learn. Ooh, we're almost done. Just a few little beads on the bottom here. Beautiful. I think 30 seconds should do it. We'll see. Man, I know you can't smell through the screen, but you guys are totally missing out because it smells so good in here. The cranberry is nice and fresh, and then the vanilla is so sweet that they really have, I wonder how it would smell if you burned all 3 at the same time, which, by the way, we are going to do at the end because I always like to light candles at the end of my candle making videos because, hi, candles. But, let's see. How much temperature? Ooh, 163. Yippee! Yippee! That was fast. Probably because this is a wider vessel, so it melts faster. All right. You scoot. We shall add the fragrance. Let me just grab a clean towel so that if I have a spaz, I can control. All right, here we go. I don't need you. Get off. Get off my hands. I totally almost had a spaz right then. I don't know if you saw that. Oh my God. That would be so typical of me to like throw it all over the place. Are you done? Don't be hiding any. All right. It is now 10:52. We shall stir till 10:55. Okay, I need to put this on. I have to remember so I don't burn my hand. So I don't think there's a special way to stir other than chilly, like try to be calm about it. You don't want to be aggressive with the way you stir because you don't want to introduce too much air to the wax and fragrance. Remember, they're dating right now. They're talking over appetizers. They're getting to know each other. What are your political views? How many children do you want? No children? 5 children? What are we doing? Are we going to have a football team? There's a lot of things to discuss in these 3 minutes. It's a very limited amount of time. I like to start from the center and just work my way out. Does it make any difference? Probably not. It just entertains me. I don't find stirring like the funnest thing in the world. But it's incredibly important when it comes to ensuring that your wax and your fragrance bind really well together. I feel like I'm really beating that into the ground today, but it's a super important lesson to learn when it comes to candle making, and something I've taken really deeply to heart, which is you really want to give your wax and fragrance oil the opportunity to combine and bind together. It's truly science. It's a chemical reaction, and you need to give it that opportunity to do it. It's really cool. It's really amazing the things that people have learned to do making candles, like what they make out of wax. I've seen some incredible creations online. There are some candle makers who are true consummate artists. There's no other word. And they make those candles look so yummy that I have to consistently remind myself, do not eat wax. We don't eat wax. We smell wax. We melt wax. That's all. But it looks yummy. Okay, we're almost there. Another minute of patience. This is the funny part about lives, I think, because I've made a lot of like edited videos on my channel that are 5 to 15 minutes long where you don't see all of this. You know, you see a quick montage of me stirring and then that's it. You don't actually have to sit here through 3 minutes of stirring. But that's candle making, folks. It's fast and slow at the same time. All right, we are done the 3. I don't need to clean that. I'm about to add color. We're done the 3 minutes. It's now 10:55. So I'm going to go ahead and add my color in. So we're using green liquid dye. And again, I'm going to go for 7 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's see. It's so fun to watch it stir in. It's very satisfying. Beautiful. This is a really lovely scent as well. White moss and balsam. Honestly, if I wasn't looking for something green, I don't know that I would have gone out of my way to smell this fragrance oil, and I would have missed out because it's quite lovely. Okay, let's see. Scoot over here. Let's see how our green. That might be a little too light. Let's see. Just from looking at it, I can see it's a little light. I mean, you don't need to have a crazy dark green. I feel like I kind of gravitate towards a bit of a darker green. But remember, it always does solidify a little bit darker. I think it's a nice green, actually, but I think I'm going to add 2 more drops. I wanted a little bit of a darker green than that. 1, 2, basta. Okay. You get out of here. Scram. We don't need you anymore. Everybody scram. Get out of the way. Immediately, a song popped into my head to sing right then about moving and getting out of the way. And there's a B word in there. If you're singing it, please let me know. If you know what song I'm talking about and you're singing it in your head right now, I'd love to hear you say so in the comments below. Because I can't sing it because I'll get in trouble, but just, know what I'm thinking. Okay. I do want to see what it'll look like, so I'm going to... That's more green already, you can see. Okay, I'm happy with that. I am pleased with this green. Okay, I don't need you guys anymore either. So we're going to just go ahead and pop these right there. Let me actually scoot this a little bit. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Scoot-doo-doo-doo. Okay, great. Put your glove back on, Mary, or you're going to burn your hand. Let's see what temperature we're at before we pour. I don't think I did that for the white ones, but I did. Look at how they're solidifying already. See how it's starting to get white around the edges now and not that yellowy in the middle? Cool, eh? 131. Yeah, so they tend to be around that, eh? Okay. I mean, really, you should let it cool to about 115 or lower. But I don't have patience for that. This is enough. It'll do. Okay. We're trying to go about 1/4 inch. From the top. Man, that smells so good. Beautiful. And there you go. We just made 6 little 4-ounce candles using 3 different fragrance oils in 3 colors. And that didn't take very long, did it? It took me an hour. In between, now let's not forget that there is time to set up and clean up and put things away and all of that, of course. But overall, if you did these as individual candles as a gift, I just made 6 gifts. If you do them as trios, which is what we're going to do for the first half of this, then you've made 2 gifts. But it would be very easy to double everything that I just did and make 12. It would be really cool. All right. I am so done with these gloves. My hands are hella sweaty. And I want to be able to look at my really pretty nails. So, okay. All right, let's focus. We shall put the Wick centering tool. That couldn't be more crooked. And it's hard to see through this one. So, beautiful. Oui, we are fini. So I'm going to move these off to the side so that they're not in my way. We're going to do the slowest scoot you've ever seen. All right, beautiful. I'm going to get you out of here. We don't need you anymore. So let's start with the candles I already made for this purpose. We have Osat right here that I made this week and have been curing all week. And I didn't do anything to them. I poured them, and that's that, because I wanted to take you through all the steps. So some of my wicks are straight. Some of them are most definitely not in the center. So that's a point to focus on when making your candles. Be aware of that. Since clearly Mary from the past was like, who cares? Candles, wicks, what? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to smooth out the tops of a couple of these. These came out really great. I have a few wet spots on the side, which you can probably not see on this one because it's such a white. Can you see on here? Do I have any here? There's a wet spot there. Do you see that? It's hard with the lights because of the glare, but there are some wet spots on the sides of these candles, which is not unusual. And that has to do with temperature, as far as I understand. It means that your candle's not curing at the same temperature all the way around. And you're going to have these issues, which I will always have on my candles because I make my candles in my basement, which is muy frio. So it's going to be cold down here. Okay. I'm actually going to use my heat gun to smooth out the tops, particularly of these two. This one, they have a little bit of frosting. I don't know if you can see that, which is not unusual with soy, but Millennium Soy in particular really minimizes the frosting of soy. It's natural for soy wax to have a little bit of frosting, and especially if you're using colors. But you can totally deal with that by melting the tops as well. But I don't really care about this little bit of frosting here. But even still, we'll melt the tops and see how it goes. These cracks, though, there's a lot of cracks on this red candle. Both of them. So I think what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and melt the tops a little bit. These ones are fine, so you scoot out of here. Okay. So I really wanted that whole top layer to be like completely melted because of how deep the cracks were. If you only melt around it, like right where the cracks are, it's going to just keep caving in. And I feel like when you melt the whole top, you have a better chance at getting a smooth top. Don't these smell good? That's doing really nicely. Okay, let's do these ones too, just to see if we can get rid of some of this frosting real quick. Beautiful. Well, so far they're solidifying beautifully, like very velvety. I'm gonna let those two kind of simmer, like let them solidify a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead and start trimming down these wicks. Now, as I've said before, you definitely want your wicks to be only about a 1/4 inch in length. So I always just start off by cutting it to that length for people, rather than leaving them long and telling them to cut it. You know what I mean? This way, all they need to do is light them up. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I don't want to touch my wick cutting tool and then I end up screwing up the top I just made. That I just made so pretty. There's still some frosting around that wick. I might hit it again. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get this out of here. I don't think we need it anymore. We'll get rid of these. Hey, chill out, bro. Okay, so options for how to package these as gifts. Number one, I always recommend, as I said, to put labels on the bottom. Very important. First of all, you know, there's a reason for caution labels and warning labels on things, because there is some dumbass out there that's going to do something and act a fool. And go ahead and let it be with somebody else's candle and not yours, because you're going to have a warning on the bottom of yours saying, stop being a fool and understand that this is fire you're messing around with. So, beauty. Oh, I didn't even check to see if it had solidified. Lucky it did, because that would have been messy AF. Now remember, you can keep going back with your heat gun over and over until you get the perfect top, but you're basically trying to get that wax from the top to not smell anymore, though, because the more you do it, the more your fragrance oil. I mean, it's a scented candle. You're going to smell it, right? It smells great. In case anybody was wondering, they all smell great. Beautiful. So now we are safe. Caution labels, check mark. Okay. Now, in terms of options to dress these up, I have a few things here. The number one that I think is so cute is going to be a little gift box that I picked up at the dollar store just yesterday for $1.50 from Dollarama. How big is this box? Do I have a ruler here? No. Where's my ruler at? Oh, well, we're going to guess that this is, I don't know, it's this much by this much. Okay, that's how big this box is. So let's scoot you guys out of here. Oh, I touched it. It's fine. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. So these are going to fit in here nicely, but I want to put I have a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I've got these cute little silver balls. I'm going to put some of this stuff, this shredded paper, decorative paper. It's green, red, and white. So we're definitely going to put some of that in there. And then I have this styrofoam balls. Those are cute. And I have actual little ornaments. So I feel like we're going to make something really cute out of this. So let's see. This is version number 1 with a gift box. We're going to do 3 different versions. So let's start with, I really don't want any of this to go into my melted candle wax over there. So I got to be careful. Beautiful. Nice. Now, I made these little felt candy canes for a wreath making project that I did yesterday on Thursday. Every Thursday night from now until the end of 2025, I will be doing craft alongs where we'll be making wreaths for the holiday season. And this Thursday that just passed, I made a really cute candy cane wreath, which Mary from the future is going to link in the replay up here in the corner so that you can make yourself a candy cane wreath because it came out super cute. And as part of that, I made some of these guys. Aren't they cute? With just some pipe cleaners. So I'm going to drop a couple in there as decoration. And then maybe we'll do a couple of these little balls. Just for fun. For funsies. And do we want to put a couple of ornaments in? Let's see. Let's see. I really want to make sure they don't bang against each other too much. So let's try to tuck a little bit of this grass in between them. So that when you're, walking around or handing the gift to somebody, it's not like a ruckus. And they're like, what's in there? Why don't you wait until you get to open it? Just stop being so curious. It wouldn't hurt to get a box that's a tiny bit bigger than this. Might make it a little easier to do this part. Or instead of this grass, you could do tissue paper. That's also another option. But I like the grass. I think it's cute. Yeah, I'm just going to tuck some into the corners and in between. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, that's great. Tuck a little bit there. How about right in the middle a little bit? No, you know what? I'm going to put a styrofoam or I'll put a candy cane there. Like this. Oh my God, how cute. Oh my God, so cute. I'll put a couple of these little balls. I'm not going to put ornaments. I think that'd be a little too much. Oh, hey, chill out. Mind you, I mean, once you put a lid on this, everything's going to kind of flop around a little bit. So if you don't want that to happen, I would recommend putting a bit of tissue paper on top. But I don't care if it kind of, look at this ball, just as like, let me be free. Control thyself. All right. Let's get this out of here. So there you go. Option number one, a quick little gift box. It looks super cute. Put a couple of pieces of tape to hold the lid down and maybe pop a bow on top. And you've got yourself a beautiful little Christmas candle trio. These balls are reckless. They are reckless. So cute. Love it. All right. So let's move on to option number 2 of how you could decorate or gift these, which is going to actually be using a gift bag. So I'm going to move you out of the way. We'll decide if I'm going to unbox you now or not. Scoot you over here. I can see that my white is cracking on the top. So I'm definitely going to have to hit this with my heat gun later, but it's okay. It's okay. All right. So I don't know what size gift bag I need for this. So I have 2 that I just got from the dollar store, from Dollarama, which I think are super cute. But now looking at the size of this box, which is not even in the shot anymore. Let me bring it back over here. Now looking at the size of this one, it is highly unlikely that this little bag is going to be sufficient. So we're going to scoot you on out of here. And we'll get this one out. We've got 3 options. Let's see what they look like. So we've got a reindeer driving a red car, Corvette with a Christmas tree. Calm yourself, bro. He's feeling pretty fly for a reindeer. This is cute, just snowflakes. And then we have a gingerbread house. I think I'm going to do gingerbread house, even though I don't have a gingerbread flavored fragrance. It doesn't matter. I mean scented fragrance. It does not matter. It is still very cute. Okay, so for this one, instead of using that grass, the shredded grass, we're going to go with straight up tissue paper. And tissue paper only. So these are massive, these ones. I'm just going to take a piece of tissue paper and scrunch it up and throw it on in there. Let's do a red one too. I don't have any green, which is too bad. If I thought of it, I would have picked one up from the dollar store yesterday. But putting red, white, and green tissue paper in here would have been chef's kiss, as they say. For the record, that's not a chef's kiss. That's like an Italian kiss. That's what we Italians do. Mwah. I don't know. Am I culturally appropriating something that is not the case? Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. All right. We've got some red. Give that a scruncheroo. Okay, that looks pretty full in there. Maybe I'll do one more white. Because we're going to have to try, again, tuck around them so that they don't click and clack when you're carrying the bag. Okay. All right. So then, I'm going to definitely need to, what might be a good idea is to wrap them before I put them in so that you can see them. Not bad. Let's see if I can put them in here without dropping them now. I don't think so. This is not a team sport. I don't have anybody here to help me, so you best get yourself under control. Yeah, we got there, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. All right. That looks cool. Now, I'm going to actually tuck a little bit more tissue paper in between again. And I'm going to stick with white. And we're gonna tuck right in between. Beautiful. And around a little bit. Because I also don't want the glass right on the edge. And this one is right on the edge. So let's pull some out. Or I'll tuck some more in after. When we're putting it on top. Yeah, I think I'll tuck some when we're putting it on top. Okay. So now, if you want, we can sprinkle in some of those balls, or we can put a couple of ornaments, or I don't know, something, maybe some more of these little candy canes. But I actually don't think I'm going to do that for this one. I like the idea of just tissue paper. Makes it really cute and straightforward and very festive. Okay, so let's grab another piece to go and tuck all the way around. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So now I'm going to grab some. Now you could totally make dust covers for these as well, so that you have a little cap on top of these, but it's also not really necessary if you're going to do it this way, because it's not going to get smushed. So now we're going to take one piece of white, if I can get it to separate from his friends. Come on, homie. One piece of white, which we'll put in the center. So I'm going to grab it from the center, pinch it, pull it, and floop it. So now it's turned into like a lovely little, and I'm going to twist here a little bit and then tuck right in the center. And I want to do a red on each side. Like I said, if I had green, I would do a red and a green on either side. But I don't. 1 and 2. And we're going to do the same thing with this one as we do with the white one, which is grab it in the center, pinch it, and then flick your wrist until you've got it in a, and then twist and tuck. Beautiful. And then we'll do the last one as well. Same thing. We're going to grab, we're going to flick, we're going to twist, and we're going to stop. Where's the white? Pop out. And there you go. A cute little Christmas gift. What do you think? Option number 2. I would be thrilled if somebody gave me a gift like this. A handmade candle gift. I mean, come on. All right. So for option number 3, I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't have a third set of candles, so I'm going to undo this one so that we can talk about option number 3. Boop. Which is always a fave because it really shows off the candles themselves. Let's get you guys out of here. Option number 3 is going to be a little tricky because I don't have a lot of room on this counter. But we're going to use cellophane. We're going to use some cellophane. And we are going to wrap these guys up and tie it. And then there will be like a spray of the cellophane on the top. So hopefully there's enough in this jar or this container. And I'm going to use a pipe cleaner to close the top off with. A nice silver pipe cleaner. All right. Let's see if I can do this without knocking into the candles that we just poured. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so let's see. that enough? Maybe a little more this way. That's good. That's a nice height. That's probably about that much above the candle. So that's nice. So we'll do the same on this side. Okay. I got my eye on you guys. Don't be rowdy. Okay, let's roll this back up so I have room. And I'm going to cut this with my trusty scissors. This is a super long cellophane roll. Okay. You really got to have long arms is all I'm saying. Now, what I would probably do is I'm going to do some of that grass again. Because I think that's going to look so cool. I also have some white and silver grass, but I really like the idea of the play on the colors that we're doing. Okay, I don't even know how much I'm going to need because, again, I don't want them to clank against each other. So let's see. This is impossible to stop pulling out of. It's like a clown with like the napkin or whatever they use. Okay. So we really want to make sure that they're kind of, that we've got this kind of tucked in between because they're going to go like that. That's not too bad. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So I'm going to just grab it on either side and pin at the top with my fingers. And then this side and this side. Just drag it all together and try to straighten it up a bit. I probably could have tied a ribbon around them. Oh, so unnecessary because this looks so cute. Okay. So cute. Although there's a little too much on this side. So I'm actually going to tuck that in between a little more. All right, one more time. Okay, I'm going to use my pipe cleaner. Although I am going to give this a twist, a quick twist, because it'll make my life a little easier. Okay, pipe cleaner. And I'm going to show you, I'll tip this sideways so you can see. So cool. I'm going to straighten this out. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, so now, that was great. Now I'm going to actually put some ribbon around this. So I'm going to tuck this pipe cleaner around and around so that it stays closed. Beautiful. And we're going to put some, where did I put my ribbon? It is quite the mess over here. Okay. I didn't have any skinny red and green, but I have black, iridescent white, silver, and gold. I think I'm going to go with iridescent white. I wish I had a skinny red one or something, but I do not. It is okay. And we are going to I'm just going to cut a length at random. because we're living on the edge. And I'm gonna tie this a couple times around. I don't mind if you see the pipe cleaner, because pipe cleaners are pretty. I'm just gonna tie this in an old-fashioned shoe knot bow. Oh, I almost stuck that in the wax. That would have been terrible. Oh, okay. Now, if you can't tie a bow, then just a knot is fine. But I'm going to try to tie a bow. No, no bow is going to happen. We're just going to do a knot. Beautiful. Now, you could do a little bow in your hands and then glue it down if you're really so inclined. But I am not, because I like the way this looks on its own. There you go. Super cute. Super cutesy. Or you could wrap one at a time and not do a 3-candle gift. You could do 1 candle per person. Let's do that as another option. So I'm just going to cut this open now. Oh my God, this is such a cute gift. Thank you. Oh my God, I love that. This is me pretending that I got this as a gift. Okay. So that's wrapping all 3 together. Oh, and the last version we're going to do is making these individual. So we've done a gift box, which I took apart for that. We've done a gift bag, another option. And we've done cellophane, which is a 3rd option. And now a 4th option is still cellophane, but individual candles. So let's do the white candle. I'm only going to do a little bit of this grass because we don't need too much for this. And this is going to be way too long of a cellophane because I made it for the 3 versus 1, but still. It goes to show you, though, how cute it will look when you do. Oh. What do you think? Very cute. Very cute. Let's do the red one in here instead. Maybe a little bit less grass. Solo un poquito. And again, you just want to grab your corners, grab this corner, grab this corner, and then you're going to scrunch in the center right over the candle and pull that cellophane up so that it looks super cute. We're going to wrap it with a pipe cleaner so that it's easy to take off for the recipient of your gift, but it holds it closed. And I'm just twisting it around and around so that it's, but you could just cut it. And that looks cute on its own, but you can also put a bow, you could put some ribbon like we did before, a bunch of different ribbons, curl them, but such a super cute idea. A little 4-ounce candle. All right, so we've wrapped them 17 different ways from Sunday, and now we get to burn them because that's why I made them. So let's take this apart. Oh my God, Mary, I love this present. You're so sweet. I don't think. I know, right? Okay. Don't get too excited. Here we go. Now, anytime I make a candle for this channel, I always like to do a test burn to see if they actually perform the way I am hoping that they will. Generally speaking, when I do this, it's on a highly edited video that's like 15 minutes long, and you don't have to watch the whole process. And I do burn them for usually about 3 hours to make sure that we get a melt pool all the way across the top, and you give your candle a chance to actually succeed, to know if it's a fail or not. But these are much smaller, so I don't think we're going to need 3 hours to see how they do. I think we should get a full melt pool. Oh, dude, is my lighter dead? Because I will cry. I don't know. I don't trust it, so I'm not going to let the flame die. All right. There we go. Our holiday trio of candles is complete. We made white moss and balsam in green, vanilla cream with no color, so white, and cranberry in red. They're beautiful fragrance oils. They smell so nice. I can't wait until these burn for a while and we can get like some scent throw from them. But all in all, I am very pleased with the performance of all of these. These vessels are super cute. What a great size. Now, imagine you're having a Christmas party and you have a bunch of people over and you wanted to do like a little party favor. Tell me this wouldn't be the cutest little party favor ever, where you just kind of like, here's a little Christmas. Imagine you can tie a little ribbon. Even if you don't want to do any of the stuff we just talked about, you could just get a little piece of ribbon and tie it around it and it'll look the cutest. Like, such a cute idea. I would love to know if you intend to make anything like this in your home for your friends and family. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I had so much fun making these with you today. Thank you for spending your time with me and pouring this festive holiday candle trio set. I really, really had such a great time. Remember that IHC Craft Room, which is me, is live 3 times a week. So catch me every Monday at 7 for a dot along. So this Sunday, we're going to be dot painting. I'm not even going to tell you what because I want to keep it a secret. So tune in on Monday. And then on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a craft along where I will make a wreath that is holiday themed with all kinds of materials you can pick up at your local dollar store and completely beginner friendly. Everything that I do on this channel is beginner friendly because when I started crafting, I was hell pressed to find beginner videos and tutorials. And it was really intimidating to me to see these super talented people when I had never done this before. So this is for all the beginners out there. I really enjoy learning and sharing, and I hope you're enjoying the process with me. And don't forget, I do a pour along every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or at least I will until the end of this year. So come back next Saturday and make some more candles with me. And between now and then, go make something beautiful. It'll be so much fun. Check out my channel. I have a ton more beginner-friendly candle videos that you can see either in live format or as step-by-step tutorials. And I would love to hear what you think about this tutorial. Are you going to make these candles? Did you make these candles with me? Tell me all about it. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo!